Next item is a public hearing, which is consideration of proposed millage rates for ad valorem taxes for 2007. Ms. Mary, present, please.
Good evening, Commissioners. I'm here tonight to present to you the proposed 2007 property tax rates. This is the first of 3 public meetings that will be held. So tonight this is for information purposes. At the actual 3rd and final meeting, we will be asking you to consider voting for those rates and signing a resolution to make that official. But that will happen at the 3rd meeting. So first, what I'd like to share with you is actually the recommended rates themselves. And this schedule shows a comparison of the proposal for 2007 versus the actual rates for 2006. As you can see from the chart, in the unincorporated areas, there's actually a decrease in the millage rate of 2.6. In the unincorporated area, there's actually an increase of 0.544. And as I get into the presentation, I'll explain to you what is driving that. In the fire services, there's actually a reduction of 0.906. And for the emergency medical services district, which is new this year, that came in at 0.550. And again, there is no comparison from last year since this is a new district. What I wanted to point out to you was basically what is driving the changes for this year. The first thing is the insurance premium tax. There's regulations from the state that the insurance premium tax proceeds that are given to the county must be used for certain services. So you have to apply those to fire services, and if you do not do that, you're actually required to roll back the millage rate for that amount. Let me go back to this first chart here, because I want to point out, when you look at 2006 actual from the incorporated and the unincorporated, the difference between that 5.692 and 4.880, that actually is 0.804, which is the insurance premium rollback that was applied last year. Again, this year we're actually applying that to fire services, because again, that's what the intention is, to apply it for those type of services. So that's one of the big changes that we're seeing this year. Of course, the second change was the establishment that the board approved to establish a separate emergency services area, and that includes all the areas within Fayette County with the exception of Peachtree City. So again, this change had an impact on our millage rate. And so what I've done is I've laid out here so you can see what's driving that change. I have a comparison of the current year's digest, the 2007, to the prior year's digest. And of course, in 2006, we actually had funding that was spread over all of the jurisdictions within Fayette County, and the millage rate was 0.386. With the change in establishing the special tax district for EMS, the removal of Peachtree City from that area, the millage rate is now 0.550. So again, that is part of what's driving the increase for the unincorporated area. If you would like to compare, I also have down here noted at the bottom that if Peachtree City had been included in this calculation with their digest of $1.8 million, the millage rate would have been 349 compared to the 386, so that would have been a reduction. So that just kind of puts it in perspective, but you can see why these numbers are changing. This chart actually I thought would be beneficial because we're actually showing the differences by the jurisdiction. So in Peachtree City, actually again, they will see a decrease in their millage rate by the 0.26. Fayetteville will, they actually do see a decrease in their M&O, which was the same as Peachtree City. However, they are picking up the additional EMS tax district of the 0.550, which that equates to the increase in their millage rate of 0.29. Brooks and Tyrone, again, they're picking up the M&O and the EMS district. However, they also are provided fire services, and with the combination of all that, they're actually going to see a decrease in their area of 0.616. Again, because the millage rate for the fire district was able to be reduced because of using those insurance proceeds. And the unincorporated county, again, the big difference is the 4.88 for the M&O is actually increased to the 5.432 because of the change in the insurance premium. The EMS is added, and then it also has the fire services. So when you add it all together, it's just a very slight increase of 0.88 in the millage rate for these particular areas. This is a chart that just shows you the 5-year history of the rates. Again, this is the rate for the unincorporated county, and as you can see, it's been consistently going down, and that includes the rollback of reassessments. This year we have a slight increase on the M&O, but again, that's really offset by the decrease in the fire fund, as you can see, because that went from 2.9 down to 2.0. So again, when you look at it as a whole, it's really a negligible increase there, kind of a flat. I also wanted to show examples of the impact it would be to the average taxpayer. So this is actually an example of a tax bill that will be sent out by George Wingo's office. And just to show you the comparison, I have on top an estimated 2007 bill, and then I actually have the actual bill from 2006. And we're using an average home value of $200,000. Now the reassessed values this year actually averaged 3%. So you'll see that adjusted fair market value actually went from $200,000 to $206,000. And when you look at the bottom line, basically a homeowner in Peachtree City, their tax will actually decrease $4.38 when you go through the calculation. The next example is for Fayetteville. Again, it's just the same scenarios using the $200,000 house value going up to the $206,000. Again, you have a reduction in the M&O of that same $4.38. However, Fayetteville is part of the area that's being served by emergency services, so they will be picking up the increase of $42.57. So the net impact is $38.19 for a resident in Fayetteville. In Brooks and Tyrone, they actually have the same tax structure. So again, you have the M&O impact, you have the EMS impact, which is the same as the previous example. What we're also adding here, of course, Fayetteville provides their own fire services, but Brooks and Tyrone has provided fire services from the county. And actually, because of the reduction in the millage rate there, they actually have a savings of $55.90. So in total, they will see a reduced bill of $17.71. And the last example we have here is for the unincorporated county residents. The M&O adjustment is actually an increase of $49.48. That is based on the insurance premium change. But again, you can see the offset with that in the fire fund of the negative $55.90. But we also have the EMS district adding in the $42.57, so it all nets out to $36.17. So basically that gives you an overview of the way that our tax structure is at this point, the recommended. And we will have the next 2 meetings for consideration of this as well.